Alright, what's up y'all? I'm back with another video. My eyebrows are already done and I'm gonna just do a simple makeup routine for you, and we could probably chat a little bit throughout this, okay? I'm looking this way because the camera lens is right here, so if you see me looking back and forth, that's why. And if you hear anything in the background, that's gonna be Bring It On, because they got a whole marathon going on right now. So let's get started. But I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna put these on. These are really good though. I love these. I love my lashes. If I know anything, girl, I know good lashes. So I ain't gonna steer you in the wrong direction. But you're gonna see when I put them on. Okay? Okay? Alright. Yay. So this is my dual glue. This is the brush on adhesive with vitamins. I've used this for a long time. I use this since beauty school. We could even talk about it, bro. I ain't even tell y'all. Y'all know I'm a licensed cosmetologist, right? But I don't necessarily be working in my field like I'm supposed to. When I say that, like, I'm not using it for the work in salons or anything like that right now, because to be honest, my passion has always just been beauty as a whole. And so once I got into cosmetology, I know I wanted to be into makeup and all of that, but I want to utilize it in retail ways and different things. What you're gonna see, your girl just got it coming. They're dry, and while I'm letting it dry, I will have my blow dryer and, you know, to make it go a little faster. But instead, we're gonna continue our conversation, okay? So I was telling you all that I went to beauty school. I went to Paul Mitchell, right? And I got my cosmetology license. I finished school in I think 2017. I finished beauty school. I worked in like different industries when I ain't gonna say different industries. Yeah, I did. I worked in different industries too. So your girl got a lot of that had a lot of work experience. But as far as like using my cosmetology license, I ended up I worked in a threading salon, so I got a feel of how to thread. I did that for a little while. And what else I did with it? What else I did with it? I wasn't necessarily big on being like somebody that worked in a salon, because I knew that it came with more than just off the surface. Like, some people think, like, you know, when you're coming out of school, you're just gonna have a clientele, and that wasn't the case. Like, during school, to me, if you think you're gonna be just making money, that's mean that you must be already have people, or you've already built something. But coming straight out of there, you have to grind and literally, I'm shaking the camera. My knee hit the on my stick. But you have to really build your own stuff, build it up, and you can't give up on it, because I was a little impatient. I wanted things to happen faster than what it was happening. I wanted to see a certain type of money, and I also had a car note at the time. And so by me having that, I was like, I needed something that's gonna be consistent. I need consistency. And so that leads on to like me going into other fields and like kind of switching and back and forth, because I feel like, okay, I have this bill that I'm paying and I need a check, okay? So I can't depend on, okay, if I do somebody here, I might do some braids or something, so $100 or something like that. My car know about $400. I still got other stuff I'm gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? Your girl gotta get to the bag, okay? So I don't have time to sit up there and try to just go off of building something for free. It's how I was looking at it at the time, because I participated in things like Fashion Week, New Orleans Fashion Week, because I'm from Louisiana. I'm from the St. Charles Parish area, and in our area, you know, we're not that far from New Orleans, and so some people might consider it a New Orleans area still, but I knew where I was, okay? But anyway, so I participated in that, and it kind of gave me a feel of how the beauty industry works in my eyes. In my eyes, I saw the beauty industry as more of you can build a name for yourself, but just because you're building a name for yourself and you're known, don't mean your money is equal to what you're known for. That's what I saw it as. And so to me, I'm like, okay, this is not really what I want out of it. I'm about to head over to get to this nursing stuff, okay? But that didn't work out, child. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this. So I ended up going, you know, working and stuff like that, because I was about my money, and I'm still about my money, as you can see. That's why I'm here, okay? But anyways, I've been about my bag, okay? But at that time, I was like, okay, that ain't working out, because I got familiar with working in a hospital setting. And by me working in a hospital setting, it ain't dry yet. But by me working in a hospital setting, I could be. But I want to tell y'all this story now, cause we friends, girl. We friends. So let's talk. So okay, so I'm working in a hospital setting, and by me getting so familiar with being there, I was working there while I was going to school, and that was my first job coming out of high school. Like, I was in a program my senior year because I had did all my classes, and so I didn't have to go to school all day. So you could have joined this program where they basically help you get a job and get work experience, especially if you want to be in like dealing with business or anything like that, right? So I joined the program. I forgot what it was called. I'm gonna have to think about it. But anyways, I joined the program, and I ended up getting put at a hospital. One of the places I said I had never in my life wanted to work. I remember saying that like years ago growing up. I remember I didn't ever want to work in the medical field because I was like disgusted. I was grossed out by a lot of things. I didn't like the smell of hospitals. I didn't like the smell of nursing homes. I didn't like stuff like that, right? So I get into health information, and so this is a different experience for me. So I'm like the baby. I'm the youngest one working at the hospital, basically. So everybody knows me, like, oh, who is this your girl, you know? Like, she's really sweet, she's really smart. Like, you know, I got a lot of good positive, you know, older people working around, right? So, you know, I'm doing most of my position stuff require me to do filing, and I was so aggravated. When I say aggravated, y'all, I was aggravated working that job when I was doing like filing, because I couldn't stand it. And I was like the little girl who they call like, oh, baby, go do this, baby, go do that. And so I was like, I was sick of this. I feel like you know what I was saying? I don't like doing no file clerk. Like, on my finger, I got the little thing you put on your finger. You gotta go through all the paperwork and all this stuff like that. And so I remember like my senior year when it was time for the graduate, I was, you know, I knew that once the school year ended, the job was supposed to end for me, right? And so I ended up getting offered a position that was a little bit above what I was doing, because I remember one of my co-workers at the time, she was like, girl, like, I'm about to move into this position, like, just, this is a good opportunity. You don't know what you got in front of you, like, take it, I'm telling you. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it, because I don't got no other job back up. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I want to go work at MAC, I want to go work at Sephora, I want to go work somewhere in the makeup industry or something that's gonna be based off of my career, right? I'm in the beauty world. Let me go ahead and try to put this on, y'all. Okay, so I moved into the other position. In this position right here, it was I was considered a HIM associate. I was no longer just a file clerk, right? But I still might have times I have to file, but it wasn't as much as used to. So now this position right here, I was cool with it, right? But I was making like $7.25, or I might have went up to $8. But at that time, to me, like $8, I was mad because I live in Louisiana, and so, you know, like, the plant is really like money, you know what I'm saying? So some of the people I was going to school with, some of the people I was in school with, I knew they was making $10, and so I'm looking at $10 as, man, they're making money. Like, I'm making $8 and they're making money. Like, for real, I need this type of money. Like, how I'm gonna be shopping? How I'm gonna go to the mall and go, you know, go splurge on myself with this little $8? I can't do nothing with this. And so I remember I was asking my manager about it, and she would be like, oh, not right now, we're not doing any raises, we're not changing it right now. So it was just basically, to me, like, either you're gonna find a new job, or you're just gonna take this, you want to keep getting what you're getting, right? Now, the job wasn't bad at all, because all I was doing was basically like, this hospital right here was kind of behind a little bit, I would say, maybe. And the only reason I say a little bit behind, because a lot of this stuff wasn't electronic yet. So everything was dealing with like paperwork. And so we was literally putting patient charts in order and stuff like that. Like, if a doctor had like patient forms, all the forms that they had for that one patient, I'm putting it in order and going through it. But I had certain departments that I would be doing. Like, I might do the psych ward and same day surgery or some stuff like that. And it was very easy. Like, once you learn like the colors of the doctor or whatever, y'all probably don't, I don't know, some people might know, everybody might not know. Okay, so I'm you know, I'm content with it, but my heart and my mind is in beauty, right? And so I remember it was hard for me to leave. It was hard for me to leave, especially being that it was my first job. You feel what I'm saying? And so I remember I left there because I was like, okay, I want some retail experience. I need to get into like Mac or something, like, you know, with makeup or something. I'm thinking the Mac girls is making the money. That's what I'm thinking. And the whole time I'm like, girl, you don't know what, like, you know, people around me telling me, like, girl, you don't know what you got. You feel what I'm saying? You got a consistent good check. Like, keep it. I'm telling you, you have set hours. Like, I'm working probably like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or something like that. But it was a set schedule. I got my weekends off. It was just like, it was perfect. It was literally perfect to some people. And in my eyes, I was like, girl, I won't be around the retail stuff. And so I get on at Lakeside Mall. Why I got on? Okay, so I got on at JCPenney, and it's my first retail job, y'all. And I'm feeling like this ain't what I thought it was. Like, this not what I thought it was. This not like my check ain't consistent. My check garbage. It's garbage. It's hot garbage. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't nothing what I'm thinking. You know, it's just not it. And on top of that, this mall is very popular. And so I remember going in the dressing room and going clean up the dressing room, picking up clothes and stuff. Like, I got stacks of clothes I'm walking out with. And by the time I went, put all them clothes up and came back, it looked like I never picked nothing up. So I was so mad. I remember my breaking point for that job was, I don't even know how long I was there. I might have been there for 2 months after I left the hospital. I remember I was there for like 2 months probably, right? And I remember they took me off the schedule for like 2 weeks. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take my little 2 weeks off and I'm finding another job in my 2 weeks, because they were doing it to a lot of people. Like, some people was off 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and they knew we was young, and so they wasn't giving us like set hours. The older people who worked there to me had set hours, right? And so I moved on to I ended up going to one of the other malls, to the Victoria's Secret, because I was like, I don't care. I'm about to try to get on that Victoria's Secret, right? And so I remember I walked up in there. I was going all through the mall. I was going to Charlotte Ruhr at the time that was open. I don't know if they're not open no more down here. But excuse me. I went to all the different stores in the mall, and I'm trying to get on. I'm like, you know, I want to try Victoria's Secret. I was like, I didn't think I was gonna get on, but I was gonna try, because this is the most fun job that I'm thinking. This good job is like, you know, it's fun. Like, who wants to be a Victoria's Secret girl? I love shopping here. So let me try it. So I walk up in there, and the manager, one of the managers at the time, she was behind the desk, and I was like, hi, how you doing? Are you looking for any associates or anything? And she was like, she asked me a few questions. I don't remember what she asked me, but I remember we got to the point where she just straight up asked me. She was like, oh, where you work at right now, and whatever. And she was like, I told her JCPenney, and I told her where, and she said, oh, girl. She was like, I used to work there. She was like, if you could do that, you could come over here. You could come over here if you could do that, because, girl, it's that job right there. I already know what you're going through. So I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Okay. So God got me out of that. And I was at Victoria's Secret for a good, maybe a year or something. And I loved Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret was easy, okay? And to me, the reason why it was easy is because you're literally dealing with either fragrances on one side, you're dealing with fragrances and panties and bras, or if you're not dealing with that, you might be on the other side where you're dealing with the clothing from Pink and stuff, but overall, you're dealing with panties, right? And it's more easier because this store right here was smaller, and this mall was a little smaller than the other mall. Because when you're working in a big mall, oh, girl, that ain't it. It ain't it. All right. And so now Victoria's Secret, the pay was like the pay was better. It was like $10 is what I had wanted, right? And so I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with it or whatever like that. And it was an easy job. I wasn't leaving there feeling tired, exhausted, or nothing like that. And so, I love them. But the thing about it, Victoria's Secret, I had like a good rapport with them. And so I remember down the line, I ended up going to another Victoria's Secret. I went to Bath and Body Works. So I'm like, yeah, that's my area. You know, your girl just like beauty. You see, now I'm here. Now we here. That's why we here. But girl, I'm talking to y'all so much, and I put this glue for this lash, but we gonna get it right. I'm sorry. Damn. But girl, hoping they ain't sticking. But nah, but I forgot what the point of me was telling. But I was just, we just talking, we just chatting, doing a little chit chat while I'm waiting on this to dry. So I'm just catching y'all up on your girl, so y'all could get familiar with me. Get familiar with me. Okay. So yeah, I ended up. Well, I was telling y'all how I got to that place of being like, okay, I wanted consistency in my financially, because I like stability. You feel me? I like to know I'm getting a certain amount of money, right? But I left Victoria's Secret. What else I had? After I left Victoria's Secret, I was job hopping. Like, I remember, if I ain't like it, I'm quitting. I'm going to the next job. I already got a job lined up. On to the next. So I'm getting these different experiences until I got to the point where I felt like, all right, nobody not calling me now. Nobody not calling me. So now I went to where I felt like, well, in my mind, I thought it was, I couldn't believe I had to do it because I'm trying to get into the hospital again after I left, and it's so much harder to get back on, especially if you don't have a degree. I didn't have a degree. I just had experience. And the thing about it is, once you are in a hospital with experience, they'll move you up. Like, they like to move their people up from within before they hire outside. It's how the hospital works over here. It's from what I paid attention to. They like to move people up from within before they go and, pull somebody and hire somebody. And so it made it a lot harder for me to get back in. So I couldn't get back on at this one. So I was like, okay, let me try other places. I got interviews, but I didn't get callbacks. And so I remember going to another area, working at Lowe's and working Victoria's Secret again. And I remember I did that I did both of those jobs. Like, when I was leaving one, I was going to the other. Like, I was job hopping. Okay? When I say job hopping, I was job hopping. And so then I just was like, you know what? I don't want to keep having to do this like this. It wasn't bad or anything like that, but I knew that I wanted to work one job and make, in my mind, I was saying I wanted to work one job and make a certain amount, right? And so, and on top of that, this is what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened to me. So after I had finished, I wanted to go back to school, and I wanted to, start getting into the nursing area, right? And so I'm doing classes and stuff like that. And I remember when I first went to my beauty school, I had signed up at a community college, right? And I had signed a document for them to hold classes for me, but my financial aid and stuff wasn't right. I didn't know what I was doing. You feel what I'm saying? And so I ended up, I was, in my mind at the time, I was the type of person, well, you know what, okay, they ain't fall through, I'm on to the next. You feel what I'm saying? Nothing ain't stopping me. I'm about to go to school. Ain't nobody stopping me from going to school. I'm either going to this college, I'm going to somebody's college, or I'm going to beauty school. And my mom was like, girl, you going to somebody's school. You're not sitting here no, you're going to somebody's school. And so I remember I left that school and I went to my beauty school because I didn't have my financial aid and stuff together, and I had already signed a document for them to hold my classes, right? So when the financial aid did come through, it'll cover it, but until then I had to pay out of pocket, and I'm like, who? I'm not paying out of pocket. Anyway, so on to the next. So fast forward to I'm finished beauty school and now I'm ready to go back to school, right? And so I got a block or a hold on my account because I didn't drop those classes from 2 years ago. I didn't drop these classes, and it's on my, it's still on my account, and they're like, you gotta pay this or you can't go to school, right? So I go to another college, and I was running my mouth to one of the people. Like, I done did a semester already, and you know what? I think I did like one semester, and I ended up the next semester into this school. I was talking to one of the deans or something, and she wasn't my dean. She wasn't my dean, and she ended up talking to me because the one who I wanted to talk to was not there. And I was so getting hurt. Y'all, was hurt. I can tell you I was hurt. Because after I talked to her, because I told her about the other school, and because I was talking to her, and I'm thinking, I ain't think much of it. I just didn't know how things worked, right? And so fast now next day I come to school, they telling me like they need to see the document saying that that you cleared up that whatever you had going on with them in order for to continue here. So I was just like, are you serious? Like, I'm pissed off, mad, mad. I'm like, what? Y'all about to send me back? A bitch just trying to get her back, and y'all doing all of this like for what? For what? What they got to do with y'all? You feel me? And so I remember having to sit out for like a semester of school, and so that's why I was working those 2 jobs. So I left that part out. I was working those 2 jobs at the same time because I was out of school because I had, you know, I gotta get this stuff cleared up because I owe them money from not dropping a class that I ain't even take. So it was like $1,000, but to me $1,000 was a lot coming from me at the time because I was like what 20 years old. You know, I'm like 20 years old. So I'm, you know what I'm saying? You like, you dumb. You're signing papers and stuff. You don't know what you're signing. And it was a lesson. I took it as a lesson. Charged it to the game. I done cried, mad, and everything. Because now I'm sitting back a semester. But whole time, I feel like everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason. Because God was redirecting my path. Because I feel like I wasn't even, now that I'm here, I wasn't even supposed to be doing it right there. I wasn't supposed to be doing it. But anyways, back to what I was trying to get, where I'm going with this. So I done started out the semester and I worked these 2 jobs, and then on top of that, after I left them 2 jobs, this is where she hit the fan. Okay, this is where things came to a bloop. That's where happened for me. All right, I ended up getting this job as a medical assistant. So I leave the 2 jobs. And I'm not trained as a medical assistant, but I got hospital experience. I got work experience in the medical field for like about a good 2 years, right? From working in the office. And so the position that I took on, it was in a podiatry office. And so they had to train you on the spot anyway. And so I'm you know, I'm looking at, okay, I'm gonna be making $10, but you have consistent hours Monday through Thursday. And now I go into this job right here, and when it wasn't, that's how I feel like they told it to me. But once I got there, they was like, okay, so now that you're here, you're basically we're gonna see if we want to keep you after I done quit my other 2 jobs, right? And I got a car note, so I'm in my mind, I'm like, you know, I have my parents and stuff, you know, around and stuff like that, but I didn't depend on them. I like being independent. Once I started making my own money, it's like, you know, once you're making my money, I like being responsible and paying for my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I would be being irresponsible in my eyes, knowing that this is for me to take care of. And so, girl, let me get my mirror. Hold on, I'm gonna finish y'all. Hold up, let me focus.
Hey Tracy, you can't say no to a classic.
Girl, you know wavy chips are way better for dipping.
Crispy, airy, tasty poppables.
Lay's, a little joy with every bag.
Magenta. I hate coffee.
And so, I'm gonna fix it. Let me see, cause I gotta look at it good for the fix it.
The Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink that can save you a lot of frustration. The Epson Eco Tank.
Just feeling chill.
We're gonna go back over it last, but let me get the other ledge. But yeah, so where I was at, y'all, cause I'm talking, I'm trying to focus on, make sure I do this stuff right. But so they done hired me, and it ain't what it seemed. You feel what I'm saying? In my eyes, it wasn't what it seemed. Like the friendliness went out the door. The doctors, like, not both of them, but one of them. That friendliness went out the door once I got in their office. And so I'm you know, I'm looking at it as a great opportunity. Everybody don't get opportunities to do this type of stuff, especially being that I don't have a degree in it, right? But the bigger picture of it, and it was a learning experience. Actually, it was a life lesson. It was a life lesson for me to learn. And so I get into it, and you know, podiatry, I didn't even know what podiatry was, but I just knew it was medical assistant. And I'm looking at, okay, you're gonna make at least $10 to $13, so I'm doing it. And I got a car note. I need this. I gotta pay this bill. Okay. So fast forward to now, I'm getting into the job, right? And it's basically based off around like diabetic patients. And so I'm learning a lot from this experience, but I'm finding myself getting overworked and overwhelmed. And I'm in a mind state now where I'm looking at it like, okay, you can't just quit because it's not an opportunity that you just get like that. It's how I'm looking at it. And so you can't just quit this job, girl. You got to hold on to this job. So this is the job that I should have quit a long time ago, before it took take a toll on your mental and everything, and your physical, where you're like literally exhausted and you're tired, because there's only 2 medical assistants. Well, there's 3 of them. One of them is working in the office, and the other one of them working in the front office because she's pregnant, so she's not doing as much as we're doing. Then she's about to take a leave, and so I pick up more of the work because of her leave. She ended up leaving for her maternity leave, and so I take on that role, and I'm coming in on Fridays now, and I'm not eating healthy or nothing. I'm just eating McDonald's. I remember I'm eating in the morning. I'm drinking a frappe, eating like a breakfast sandwich or whatever like that, and I can honestly say that it just took a toll on me, like mentally. It took a toll on me. And then I started feeling the emotions of seeing a patient come in, and once you keep seeing somebody, you get familiar with them. And I'm looking at what she's going through, and I was feeling the emotions of it. I'm feeling, I don't want to say sorry for her, or like, I don't want to say sorry for her, but I'm feeling like, damn, you feel what I'm saying? Because the reason why I say I don't want to say I felt like sorry or make it feel like put a damper on her, because she was a positive spirit. But nothing she did that showed, and she showed me so much strength. She had so much strength in what she was going through. And when I say what she was going through, she had I think like 4 of her toes amputated off of one of her feet, and so she was kind of unbalanced a little, right? And I remember when I went outside, I was what I was downstairs for. You know what? Let me tell you what happened. So she came upstairs, and her pants was wet, and I had, me and her talking and chatting, because she comes in here often now, and she's young. She's also a younger woman, and so I remember asking, what happened? I see your pants are wet. You need something to dry you off? And so she was telling me that, she had kind of lost her balance, and it was raining. It was wet outside, so she fell. And so I ended up, I just felt, I'm feeling it for her, like, oh, man. But I'm like, she's in a happy spirit, or she's still in a happy spirit. She said a man seen it, and he hopped out his truck, and he came and he picked her up, and he brought her all the way up to our floor. So I'm like, oh, that's like, that's so sweet, because, there's so much, there's still a lot of good people out there. And so I ended up seeing, I remember telling her, when it's time for you to go, just let me know. I'm going to come in. I'm going to bring you downstairs. I'm going to go get a chair, a wheelchair, and everything for you, and we're going to bring you downstairs. Or I'll walk you, whatever you want to do. I'm going to come with you. And so, because I wanted to do whatever I could to help her. And that's another thing. That's why that field was not for me, is how I feel. I feel like that field wasn't for me because I felt connected to them, and I felt like I wanted to do so much more to help with them. But the problem with it was that I was neglecting me, because I was taking care of, I was so worried and concerned. I wasn't worried about myself. That's what happened in that job. I realized I got lost in that job because I was caring for people to the point where I felt like I gotta, whatever I got going on, I'm good. You feel what I'm saying? I'm good. Like, what they're going through, how dare I complain? Who am I to be complaining when they're going through stuff like this? Like, who am I to be complaining, right? And so I remember, like, that day, my energy was really, like, even though this lady's in a happy spirit. You feel me? She's in a happy spirit. But my energy is saddened because the reason she was there in the first place is because she had like a blister or something came on her foot because she was walking in like some type of sandal she had on like at like a water park or something, and the ground was hot and it burned through and it burned her foot. So by her being a diabetic, she needs to come in, and you know that's something a major deal. And so I just was feeling like down about it because I'm like, dang, like, you know, she's just trying to have fun and she's going through this. And I'm feeling the emotions for it and they weighed on me. I remember like talking to my dad, but I remember like crying. You feel what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I'm emotional. I'm emotional when like people, once you get, it's when we get familiar with somebody and you're picking up on their energy and their happiness and all of that. And I'm looking at what she's going through. And so I kept going with this job until it took a toll on me mentally, and I started feeling like the anxiety from it. And so I was like, you know, I had to let it go because it wasn't worth my mental health. It wasn't worth my sanity. It wasn't worth that. I'm important. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't worth what it was doing to me mentally and emotionally and physically. So I left that alone. And ever since then, God worked it out for me. I have not been working at people's jobs. Okay, I haven't. But I've been doing my thing with school and stuff like that. So, because your girl always keep it rolling. But it helped me get back to what was for me. Like, I got redirected. I feel like that God just redirected my path. Because I was really, it made me change that whole mind frame. I understood and I grew a whole lot more respect for nursing and everything. But that was an experience, and medical field is very tough. And so, especially if you're hands-on with patients. Now, the reason why I did it in the first place is because I'm thinking that I done got comfortable, because mind you, I didn't want to ever work with patients. But I'm looking at the glue. But I done got comfortable working in a hospital now because I'm used to it from working on the non-clinical side. But non-clinical and clinical is a whole, you know, two different ball games. Ain't the same at all. But that's why, like, I'm here now, y'all, because I'm like, I see, well, I know my path now. I feel like I know my direction, and I know what is for me and what ain't for me, and I ain't gonna force it. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was learning about. Like, you don't force things. You go with your heart. Go with your heart, and stop doing things just for the money. Stop doing things just for the money, sis. That's what I had to learn. That was my lesson to learn. And I learned it. Because, girl, no. Now, you ain't gonna see me doing nobody medical assistant job. No, sis. Hell no. Because I was like, it was a lot for me, y'all. It's a lot. And I like to help people. So, your girl just went through a lot of lessons. That's all I'm gonna say. Girl, this thing stuck to the tweezers. I went through a lot of lessons. I probably didn't let it dry too much. Fuck. Hold up.
No, everything's fine. I'm fine. No, I'm great.
I'm gonna get it on. We're gonna put this bitch on.
Actually, I'm not.
We're gonna put her on. I don't know how we gonna get her to stay down, but we're gonna get her to stay down.
Because I'm a cheerleader. Yes, one of those.
Alright, I'm back. Alright, yo. So yeah, so that was my experience with that, with the medical field. Like that's where I'm here, like in this place now, because this was my start off goal. That's that glue y'all seeing. I'm gonna fix it. Damn it.
You ready? How about you? Yes, we do. Bring it. I'll bring it. Alright, now let's do this. Don't be all up in my Kool-Aid. What does that mean? Nothing hits the floor sticky. That's the best you got? She fits the itch and bitch. Now who's with me? If you love Read On, cheer with Glee.
Sorry, this leg shaking. Alright, girl, let it dry too much. Run in my mouth.
Oh, it is so.
Girl. I'm not taking it off. I'm not taking it off. We're gonna put some glue on this thing. Got some glue on there or something. I'm gonna leave it up and let it dry. Let the glue dry, then I'm gonna stick it down. Hold up, let me get some because it's getting hot in here.
roach bites that are sweet and tart. Why wouldn't I want both?
Alright, I'm back. Alright. So this is just a simple like makeup look, but we're gonna do a little, we just doing a little chit chat and a little simple makeup. So we don't even have to don't talk about my own track though, because I had this in for a little while. It's going to come out tomorrow. But I wanted to give y'all another video, because I was just thinking, like, I was wondering what kind of videos should I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I got some ideas, but I gotta do some other stuff with it. Okay. But yeah. So that was my experience with that. And so I was just like, it wasn't for me, because it drained me. I was so drained from that. I was drained from that. And it brought me all the way back to, like, you know, what I was really into. But doing it in the way that I always said I wanted to do it anyway. Like, working for people and stuff like that, like, it could be cool depending on who you're working for and what you're doing. But I want what I want. Okay? Oh, let me show y'all what I'm using. This is a NARS foundation. It's the NARS, that light. NARS Luminous Macchio. This is my foundation right here, y'all. I've been using this foundation for a while now. I was thinking about switching over and trying, like, I think Fenty, but I had ordered this, and I'm around a while for it. And I might change. I'll change the foundation every now and then, but if I like a foundation, I'm using it for a while. Like, it might be just my holy grail, like my go-to. Forget it, like all that constant changing. I might try it, but if I like it, I like it. You hear me?
Genital area discomfort, bacterial vaginosis, or pain while urinating. Phexi doesn't protect against STIs. Join the revolution. Phexi.
But let me get this. Let me finish my face, bro, cause we like 40 minutes in. And the only way it don't be like 40 minutes is I ended up editing like some stuff out or whatever. But yeah, so y'all get to know me a little bit, y'all. Because I was like, I wonder who else got like that medical experience and stuff ever experienced, like, you know, working in that field. Because I had people to think about it. I had people who were like, girl, I don't know, I don't do that. And then they had people who I knew that was in the field. And so I'm looking at, you know, everything is not for everybody. That's just what it is, come down to. Everything ain't for everybody. And that's, but yeah. This is my Toffee Infallible full wear. Put a little bit under my eyes. I'm gonna take my MAC Fix Plus and give it a little spray.
We blow. We cannot do this because we're cursed, all of us.
Crap, Ruben. Snap out of it. What if you don't have happy Ruben?
It's weird, you know? Now that I'm not gay anymore, I'm not gay anymore.
Okay, we're freaks.
Girl, that's Bring It On. Which one this is? This Bring It On In It to Win It. I don't think I watched this one, but I know I remember Fight to Finish. I don't watch a lot of Bring It On. Girl, I'm surprised they ain't made no more. I used to love Bring It On. Who else used to like that? I just love some Bring It On.
I'll take the lead. Select me and happy them. Right? Take it out. Something like that, right?
Girl, look at me. Wanna believe in love. Or something. still sometimes. But those were some major lessons right there for me.
Thank you.
It's a texture of your skin. No. I got one of my angle brushes using my Anastasia palette in the darkest color on my cheeks, because you see your girl is brown, like foxy brown. This is brown, pretty brown. You see the skin, right? Foxy brown. Say it with me now. Foxy brown.
2-2 on pyramid.
And you want to make sure you're blending, sis. Make sure y'all be blending. Blend, blend, blend. That's what makeup all about. Shout out to the people who gave me the, like, you know, the scoop on the makeup, because trust me, my makeup lessons was a journey. Okay, because I started wearing makeup like probably my senior year of high school, like for prom. Like that was my first time wearing like real makeup, because before that I probably could wear like lip gloss, but nothing else, and probably get my eyebrows on. Which one? This one is like a soft pink. See? A little something. Girl, let me follow you. See y'all.
It's a gift. Peter Rabbit 2, rated PG. See Peter in the theater June 11th.
This is strawberry. You see my summer lips?